All right, happy people. Let's get our Disney pants on.
I had my poo-poo pants on during the news. I'm not gonna be negative Tim tonight.
That's right. You're happy, Tim.
This is the happy show. Got my headphones working properly again. Everything's good.
Technology's amazing today.
Technology's amazing today. Tomorrow's another adventure.
Uh-huh.
What's up, guys, and welcome to the Quick Diz Takes podcast, episode number 59. I am your host, Tim LeBeau, alongside Mr. John Castano.
Hello.
And Mrs. Sarah Castano.
Hey, howdy, hey.
Please like, subscribe, and share the podcast. Check us out at Quick Diz Takes on Facebook, and check out the new website at www.quickdiztakes.com. You can also catch Sarah and I on Instagram. You can catch me at Quick Diz Takes Tim and Sarah at Quick Diz Takes Skook. All
Just
right.
Quick Diz Skook.
I'm sorry, Quick Diz Skook. So we got Soarin today, and there's just the three of us.
Mm-hmm.
We have got an attraction and show elimination, and we will be doing a little bit of placing celebrities into, or a celebrity, who is Meryl Streep this week, by the way, into the park. And maybe we'll get the tiki room with the absence of Steve Lanzi, and we can sneak it in there. Ha ha ha. All right. So, Soarin. I'll go first. I never go first on this segment. I'll go first.
Oh.
What I like about Soarin. Well, what's there not to like about Soarin, right? I mean, the ride system's cool. It's innovative. I guess not so much now with it being a little older, but at the time it was certainly innovative. The ride never gets old, so it's fun to ride. It is got an awesome soundtrack. I like the scents. I think I do prefer Soarin' over California over the newest iteration, but they're both good, to me. What else? Oh, what I don't like about Soarin'. If you get the wrong seats, you get those weird angles. I guess there's really not much they can do about that. Otherwise, they would have already. So that is probably the worst thing about it. And I speak about that. Actually, if you check out the YouTube page, I have a video on Soarin' versus Soarin' where I go into a little more detail about how that is kind of crappy. But if you do get section B and any of those rows really, but the middle row particularly, you get an awesome viewpoint and an awesome ride. And so that ride's pretty good in my book. It's one of the better ones. Yeah, and I'd say the only thing bad about it is the angles really. And it's got a weird wait time thing going on for it too, right? Like even when you have a fast pass, it seems like it takes a little while to get on that thing for some reason. Never really just kind of walked on ever, at least my own personal experience. But I mean, that's all nitpicking stuff, so.
Yeah, not really much different from you. Just the angles really are the only weird thing about it. Bad thing about it, I guess. And I mean, I like the whole pre-show. I like that you get Patrick, Warburton Putty. I like his little character he plays, which is always a nice little thing to see. I like that they whole, like, if you ever have seen like the video of them creating it, how they just use like a Connect set to like get the whole ride vehicle thing, and how they used a simple toy to make this like really cool ride experience. And the same. I like the Soarin' over California better than the newer version. Just especially in this newer version, how it's just, I don't think I know how they try to use like the different ways to cut in between each scene, but I don't know, you can just tell it's too CGI to me. I think more of a natural, just a video of a helicopter flying over everything would be better. And I think if they would change, I know they have the whole, like, while you're waiting, they have like you can play the game against the screen, the camera, video against the wall and stuff. I think they should, since you're already using the technology, and I feel like could change the screens to different scenes fairly easy because it is screen based. But I think you should have maybe like 6 to 10 choices. Since you're already on your phone, once you're standing in line, everybody votes, and whichever one comes out, that's your experience. So it's not like you're riding the same every time, or even the multiple rooms they have. You could have Californian one over the world. You could, I think that's something they should change about it. Just because I think they have the technology to give you a different experience each time.
I think before we go to Sarah, I think you're right about that. And even if they just what if they kept one theater soaring over California, right? And then it's kind of like when you want to go on a roller coaster and sit in the front, you get in that extra little queue.
Yeah.
So like if you want to wait a little longer, because I think that would happen, because a lot of people would want to do this.
Mm-hmm.
You can go into, theater, what is it, A, B, and C? Like theater A or whatever it is. And that would be, because when they reopened it, when they did it for a little while, it was like 2019, they put Soarin' Over California back for a little while, and California Adventure. It was like really popular.
Yeah.
So, good idea.
So between the two of you, you guys kind of hit on everything that I was going to say. I like the original concept. It's an original idea. It's not tied into a movie. It is a cool idea with the suspension, the screen tech, which clearly Flight of Passage evolves from the basics of Soarin'. I like the theming with the concourses. I love the narration by Patrick Warburton, because every time, I know he thinks of Putty, but I think of Kronk, and that makes me so happy as well. I like the sense, and I know Johnny said that the transitions were kind of cheesy, but I actually like them. I know they're coming, and I still kind of flinch a little. And I do like that trivia game while you wait. I think for people who can't score a fast pass, which it's not an e-ticket anymore, but for people who don't get one or can't get one, it gives you something to do in line that's not, it doesn't require you to stay in one spot the whole time in order to participate. It kind of goes throughout. Again, the weird bending of images if you're not in the very center. And then just compared to newer experiences, the images aren't as crisp because the video's older. Really were kind of the only dislikes that I had. And then I did have an idea for a retheme that's a little out of the box. So originally I was thinking of, I feel like I've kind of kept all of my rethemes to similar to what's already in existence, with the exception of, I think Stitch's Great Escape, I turned into an escape room. But I was thinking, if we take out the whole theater screen and the ride structure system, and we made it a scavenger hunt game with interactive with your My Disney experience, with QR codes all around the room. So I was thinking about like leveled areas. They could be like little bridges and small hills, just to kind of give variety to what you're looking at, and not just a flat open room. It would look almost like a field or a hilly pasture or something. And I was thinking along the lines of the projection stuff that they're using on that Epcot experience at the moment, where they basically have the blank canvas and it just, the landscape could change, essentially is what I'm getting at. So an initial pathway of tiles on the floor, kind of have you select your location. So you could go between, the 7 wonders of the world, or you could do the American Wild West or the Mediterranean. Like, you have options of where you're going, along with your first clue to start your scavenger hunt. So the length of time that it takes you to go from one QR code to the next would give you more or less points. The faster you can find them, the more points. But obviously, if you don't get a ton of points, it's Disney, so you're still a winner. But if guests don't have their own devices capable of QR codes, because I think we talked about this when we talked about the Magic Mobile Pass, there's a separate path if you do not have your own, and if Disney couldn't provide them, which it's COVID and they're pinching pennies, so I get it. It would be a separate path that uses the access point scanners, kind of like they use for the Magic Band and the Photo Pass, for people who just use their actual Magic Band or their park ticket card if they don't go the Magic Band route. So at the end, when you complete this trivia quest, there's a little, video message, and depending on if you've earned points, you could get a voucher for, or you get a sticker like I was that guy from the Laugh Factory, or, a small item, or a Mickey bar or something. I don't know. But just something, it's just a different experience. So you're not on this ride, in line for this ride, in line for this ride. Let's go see a show, and then this ride, and then a show. It's something a little different. It kind of pulls guests all around.
All right, that was certainly unique. I would make mine Soarin' Through Time. And I think what I would do, Johnny's going to hate us because he mentioned the CGI in the Soarin' Around the World, and I hate it too, but what are you going to do? Because we're going to need CGI, because, I mean, we can't go to ancient Rome in real time anymore. So I was thinking either that.
A flux capacitor, you could.
Well, you could, yeah. I was thinking either that, or we could just stay in America and kind of piggyback off living with the land and just show you all those different, like what those different areas of the country were like in different times in our history. As far as, I mean, it'd be tough with America because we don't go that far back. I'm not going to stick with the international here. Yeah, so we'd have to just, maybe we could go back and you could be shown how agriculture was going in the 1500s or 1700s and then the 1900s, you know, and so on and so forth. And I said the 1900s because that is the past now, which is crazy in my head. But anyway, yeah, something like that would be kind of neat. I mean, if I could choose, I'd still stay what we had, but because I had to retheme, it's what I came up with. So
I would have keep it the whole, you're going to be flying still, but instead of the sitting in like your gliders things, it would be more of, you'd be strapped more into a standing position with a backpack straps, and it would be, everybody would get to be the Rocketeer, and you get to, experience flying with the jet, like, everything would be like a jetpack behind you. It'd be themed out nice, and you'd have to find the only difficult part, I think, would be to have the ride be able to maybe do like twists. So it would have to be more, I think it would have to be less people, I guess, in each room, but just sort of I don't know, you get more of a feel of your flying instead of being in the hang glider type of thing. But I want to get the Rocketeer in there, because I don't think that movie definitely doesn't get enough. Besides that one little ice cream place in Hollywood Studios, you get, like, if you actually look in there, I'm pretty sure the jetpack and the helmet is in the back in that little what do I call it? A little snack place. But I think that needs more presence in the parks.
I wonder how long Soarin' can go before it feels outdated. Not that I feel that way, but I was just thinking about when Johnny was talking. I was like, because I'm thinking about like how cool it would be if they were able to somehow lay us flat and put us up, and maybe have a screen underneath too. You know what I mean? Really
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
I mean, I was thinking I know Six Flags New England has, I don't even know what ride, it's been rethemed a couple times. I want to say it's something Batman related, where you start standing up, and they lays you flat. Is it Nightwing?
It's Nightwing. It's horrible.
Yeah, but essentially you just go in a circle.
Wait, why is it horrible?
Because it goes in a circle.
Because
it
crushes you, because you stand up and then it lays you down and squishes you, and then it's a spinner ride, but it goes up on an angle. Yeah.
No way, no how. If I was on that ride, you were watching, puke would be flying from every angle.
Yeah, it spins and then it crushes you on top of it. I went on it one time.
Maybe like a scene out of the Sandlot. Would not be pretty.
I went on one time just because Nightwing's like my favorite DC character. So
yeah,
that was it.
Not my favorite DC ride though.
No, not at all.
No. So anyway, I was thinking along those lines, but then we're still sticking with the same, essentially, kind of ride. But
yeah,
we do have the technology. It is possible. People just don't like it.
Yeah.
You don't really see a big long line for that. People are just kind of bypassing it to go to Superman.
I think it's funny, like,
Isn't it still Bizarro, or did they change it back?
I don't know.
Bizarro.
haven't been to
Zara,
Six Flags. I
isn't
haven't
that
been
a
to
song
Six
they
Flags in
sing?
years.
Yes, they haven't been in years and years because then they filed for bankruptcy and then they weren't. And then I don't know.
And then I got old and I was like, I don't really know if thrill rides really my thing anymore.
Then we
Yeah,
became annual pass holders. And why are we going to Six Flags?
I mean, thrill rides used to be like my thing, but anyway, I still like them, but I just don't think I like Disney's a good mix because I can go to a park and like maybe there's one or two, and I'll mix those with the other ones, and it's a good day. If I go to a place where literally the only thing to do is ride thrill rides one after another, yeah, I don't know. Anyway, and this is coming from a person who, like, one of the first things he did when he got back from his whole heart situation was like go online and read research and be like, can I still go on these rides? Like, and yes, by the way, despite the warnings, the American Heart Foundation says that, or Association rather, says that the extensive test and there's really no issue. People with any kind of heart ailments. But anyway, let's move on to our attraction spin the wheel segment. And so we got an odd number, so that's good. So we can at least, vote in favor of something. But what will that something be? And will I hold the wheel up to the camera properly so that we can see what the attraction's going to be?
Toy Story Mania. Oh, Small World.
See, now this is actually, Small World's like my tiki room.
Everyone has their tiki room.
Johnny, go ahead. Kick us off in this whole Small World versus Toy Story Mania debate. The people need to know.
Well, Toy Story, it's the whole. I like Toy Story is my favorite Pixar thing in Pixar, so that one's a point there. But the whole, I wouldn't say it's the it's not something I feel if I don't go on, I missed out on something. But when I do go on, I'm very, in that sense of games and stuff, it's very, competitive. You're trying to be the best person in your little car. So it's fun. And I don't know, it's you get to play a video game while you're riding a ride. So it's I enjoy that. And then Small World, while I find the song, extremely annoying, and I can appreciate the history of it and what where it came from and how it was part of the World's Fair, and how many people wrote it then, and the whole with Mary Blair and all the stuff she's did with all the costuming and the whole thing. I like the look of it, but the song is just like it drives me nuts. And I maybe if they added this is a ride I wouldn't mind if they added IP in. I like the other Small Worlds where you see when you go into each individual country, they have whatever the Disney movie is, and they're hit somewhere, and it's not blatantly in your face, but it's something. They have a little puppet of whatever movie or from, so I like that. But in the Disney World version, they don't have that, so it's I don't know. I think it's Toy Story Mania, just because I'm happy. I'm fine if I go on Small World once every 10 years. It's not. I don't feel any. I'd feel worse not going on Toy Story than I would going on Small World.
So I hear that, and I think everyone has kind of the same thing with the song. But is the song annoying, or is it just that they play it for 8 minutes straight? Right? If it's that song came on the radio, it would be out of place nowadays. But in its time, and you just heard it once in a while in a quick, 2-minute rendition or whatever it is. Because I don't even think they sing the second verse in the ride. Maybe it wouldn't be as bad. Because
maybe.
I don't know. So I just before we started this vote was saying that Small World is kind of like my tiki room. When it comes to Lansing and his love for the tiki room. But you know what? I'm keeping Small World because Walt was involved. and for some reason I'm always on it. And I guess it's become pretty apparent on the show to myself and probably to you guys too, if you pay close enough attention. I just don't like the rides where you shoot stuff. I don't want to shoot something on a ride. I just want to go on and sit there. And people are, they're firing away. My wrist's getting tired, that stupid thing. And my wife's always beating me on it.
That's the real reason.
Not physically. Well,
we found it.
In the end, I win. This is what happens. I look at the scores and I notice she's always a little ahead of me, but I'm really good at the last one. You have to fire as fast as you can, and I catch up and surpass her every time right at the end. But I still consider in my mind that I lost because I feel like I cheaply took a victory. And then one time, so the last time we went on, I beat her fair and square though, because I went on and I looked at like little tips on the internet, and those things help, man. There's like little ways you can like unlock. Was it like a volcano scene where the aliens are coming out one time? I think it's the volcano. And if you shoot a certain sequence, then the volcano like erupts and bonus points. So I used that thing and like I read it in the queue and then I got on and it worked really well. But nonetheless, I'm still getting rid of the ride. So, and what other ride says goodbye to you in different languages and specifically to you with your magic bands? So It's a Small World all the way. Keep the Walt Disney classic alive.
So I also not like obsessed with it, but I really do enjoy
It's a Small World. You kind of love it.
I do kind of.
I remember on Facebook when the rumors were swirling and it was going to go away, you were like,
oh, I was very upset.
All over it.
I was like, no. No, I do. I enjoy it. I like the little Polynesian scene, the little, hula grass skirts going, the platypus, like they're going to toss their eggs at you. I do. They're so stinking cute. I love them.
They're totes adorbs.
Totes. No, so I do. I think they're really cute. I think the costuming's great. Again, the connection to Walt and the kind of classic, very unique idea. He has a good point. The song could use some help or throw some extra verses in there. I feel like if you've never heard that song before that ride, you leave that ride knowing it inside out, backwards, and upside down. So a little redundant there, but I do really enjoy that. I like the little touch at the end, like you were just saying with the magic bands, saying goodbye to you in different languages. My boys thought it was incredible. They know I'm here. It's like mind-blowing for a 4-year-old, but it was really fun, to kind of see them experience it. I think we go on it and I say, oh, this is grandma's favorite ride, or this is Vowie's favorite ride. We're going to go on it for them. The boys get excited. They want to go on it too. They like it. Toy Story Mania, as someone who never really played video games growing up, I like that ride too. I agree that my wrists kill at the end of that. I don't know how people play that game multiple times. I usually win too, but I'm also paired up with a small child, so that's not anything really to brag about. But I don't know if I had to peanut gallery.
Oh, here we go.
I beat him twice on Buzz Lightyear.
Ooh, yeah, but don't get me going. Don't get me going. I said I was being positive in the show. Don't get me going on Buzz Lightyear.
That's a different ride. So I really like that ride. I think I've talked before about if we're getting a ride based on a Disney IP, that it should be an extension of the story and characters in the original movie. It shouldn't just be a recap of it. Peter Pan's Flight. And I like that this is an extension of it. It's not you're going through Andy's bedroom. You're getting a separate idea altogether. It is meant to be a carnival ride. And if you think back to the last Toy Story we just had, where they're at that traveling carnival, it does all kind of tie in and make sense. So I do appreciate that. I do think it's a fun thing to play a 3-minute little video game with your kid or with a friend, not a spouse who's super competitive, just for a few minutes. The queue is fun too, with the Mr. Potato Head telling jokes.
He takes
all the little.
He's the only animatronic to be able to take something off.
It's true.
Impressive.
I like that they used toys for the queue. My teacher heart is so happy to see Ticonderoga pencils. Those are the Cadillac of pencils. If you people don't know, there's so much about that that I do really like as well. But I am going to have to decide.
Popsicle wall when you're walking out. the popsicle stick wall. Come on, and the bench.
This guy is making last minute pleas to save Toy Story Mania.
I am gonna go with Smaller World. We're gonna keep that classic. We're gonna keep the originals. Again, I do appreciate Toy Story Mania for everything that they did with theming and putting it in the right lane. I love it. But I'm going with Small World.
Wow.
Small World would be so much better too. I mean, not that I would have picked it, but if they had the way the outside looks at Disneyland, I wish that was more at Disney World. How like once you have to actually get into the queue to see that sort of thing, because in the special, like the way they do it at Christmas, where they light it and everything. But
I feel like once you get into the queue and you're like inside, that entrance and opening, it's so underwhelming compared to Disneyland.
Yeah.
So it's like, we're in the ride started. Oh, here we are. Okay. But I do think it's cool, that restaurant that as you first go under, just kind of wave to everybody. Hello.
Yeah, Pinocchio's Village House.
Yeah,
enjoy your chicken.
Signs.
I think that I think Small World, I'd have to look this up, but it probably opened with the Magic Kingdom too. It must have, right? It already existed in Disneyland. So they had the room. I wonder why they didn't build a bigger one like they did in Disneyland. Maybe because it does have the feel of like I like how Fantasyland has that little. I do like how Fantasyland has that feel of like where Small World and Peter Pan is, where it's almost like you wouldn't even know a ride's there. It kind of just tucked it in. It's kind of a neat little feel to it, or whatever. I don't know what you want to call it, but I don't know if I am with you on the big, building and the big all the Mary Blair artwork in the front and stuff, but maybe Disney feels like it doesn't warrant that type of.
Yeah.
I don't know, because they could have done it, and I mean they had more room in the Magic Kingdom than they have in Disneyland. So we are moving on.
Tough to be a bug. Oh, that hurt.
Boy, moment of truth.
Don. Oh
my God, I can't see.
Enchanted Tales with Belle.
All right, so Tough to Be a Bug and Enchanted Tales with Belle.
So I'm going to go with Tough to Be a Bug because I've never actually seen Enchanted Tales with Belle. I do love Belle. I love Beauty and the Beast, but I've never seen it. So I'm going to go with what I know, which it is funny the first couple times when you're not expecting the bugs underneath you or the stink or the splash of water. It's a fun show, but it's petrifying our small children when the bugs started running out, who were already afraid of all the other things that the show had to offer. So while I don't know Belle, I do know Tough to Be a Bug. I'm going to keep Tough to Be a Bug.
Yep. So before I actually put my vote in, I'm going to say that Enchanted Tales of Belle was cool. Like for my daughter, I thought it was pretty good. Like they got the kids involved. They told the story. The little mirror effect in there, where the mirror turns into a door, is really cool. But it's kind of like a little bit of a better meet and greet than it is a show, I would say. Yeah, I mean it's like a glorified meet and greet, I would call it. And Tough to Be a Bug's underrated. It's kind of good. Still pretty good. It's cool to go under the tree, first of all, and it's a pretty fun show. It's not. I don't feel like it's old or anything, and the animatronic in there is really cool. So, yeah, Tough to Be a Bug for me too.
I have never been on Enchanted Tales with Belle. I've seen the video of the mirror, so it looks cool in video, but I've never experienced it. Tough to Be a Bug. I enjoy that. Like you said, we get to go into the tree. You see the bug, like the bug-related movie posters in the little waiting area. And then, even though I've been on it a bunch of times, they still that like spider that throws the darts. Still, like that's a very good effect in the 3D, because he's still, I don't know, you still kind of wince and they blow the air right in your face. So and especially about the I don't even know what it is, like the bug stinging you in the back. Like if you're not like, it kind of gives you a pretty good jolt. And then the that Hopper animatronics just really advanced for when that show came out too, and how, I mean, it looks like a big grasshopper standing in front of you. And I don't know, I just think I wouldn't say it's a must do every time you go to Animal Kingdom, but maybe in every other trip. So yeah, and then the whole thing with the bugs going underneath you is just something, if you that first time you don't expect it. So that's I just keep it a overall tough to be a bug victory, I guess.
Yeah, I don't think Bill had much of a chance. I think it's tough to be a bug is good. Like I said, it's in a cool theater and it's never a long wait. So, and it still holds up. So it's good.
Yeah, and then you do get to see with the going into the, in the tree, you get to see a lot of those carvings up close when walking the queue. So that's a plus too.
Yep. All right. Yeah, that's actually a really good point too. All right, so we had to put Meryl Streep in a Disney attraction. So let's do it.
All right, I'm gonna go with. We're gonna put her in. We're putting her in Cali River Rapids, but we're changing. It's not gonna be the circular ride you go in. It's actually gonna be a rapids raft, and you're gonna actually propel yourself down the rapids. And it's from her character from that movie, The River Wild.
Yeah, I love that. I love that movie.
And how she was like she was this former guide of going down the rapids. So, and she's your guide, telling you which way to paddle, which side to paddle. So she's like that expert guide. And then even if you want to throw in, you can throw in a little Kevin Bacon animatronic too if you want. You get a 2-for-1 on that one.
Everyone loves a good twofer.
But I figured I'd go with more of not one of her main movies, kind of one that's a little on the outskirts. But I don't know. I've always liked that movie.
So I went a little differently and a little more recent. I am putting Meryl Streep in Hollywood Studios. We were just talking about Rock and Roller Coaster the other day. We're going to pull Aerosmith out. We're going to make it ABBA, and her character from Mamma Mia is going to kick us off. If you want a twofer, you got Amanda Seyfried. Throw her in there too. We're just going to listen to ABBA the whole time. Scenes of the Mediterranean all around you. It's going to be amazing.
Okay. Can we get a Pierce Brosnan animatronic in there as well?
Yes. Threefer.
All right. I went with the obvious choice of her character as Miranda Priestley in The Devil Wears Prada. She will be in the Carousel of Progress. And she will be the new main character, and she will take us through the history of fashion and explain everything. The same way she does to Andy Sachs when she first shows up and tries to pretend like fashion is not really a thing, and then she breaks down how fashion, the high fashion industry is what led to her little sweater she picked up at the discount rack at the dress barn. And we'll get that whole little rundown through the decades. And at the end, she'll say, "That's all," like she does in the movie, and she will have a Smith and Wollensky steak in front of her in the final scene. And yeah, and I'll love it every minute of it. Oh, we'll get an Emily Blunt. Animatronic as well, considering we're all on a twofer kick tonight. But Emily Blunt will obviously be her secretary, not Mary Poppins. And yes, so easily named Emily in the movie. I don't think they ever say her last name. So yeah, so that's what we got for well, that was good because we got three different movies, which is kind of rare. Yeah. It may actually be the first time I'm thinking about it. I don't know. I would hate to.
She's in enough.
I would, yeah, I would hate to like kick her out, to really redo a Carousel of Progress, because I love Carousel of Progress, but I couldn't resist the idea of her sitting at her desk, breaking down the fashion trends of, the turn of the century, 1900 turn of the century, and then I had to specify that now too, because turn of the century is, used to be automatically assumed that it was the early 1900s, late 1800s, but now we're at a point where the turn of the century, turn of the millennium.
I was trying to find a way to work her character from Death Becomes Her somehow, and I was like, too much of a stretch. Halloween night.
You can stick her in the Haunted Mansion.
That is true. When she puts the candelabra through the other girl, Goldie Hawn.
She could be the new bride in the attic.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And then we could put Bruce Willis in there.
We could have brainstormed these things.
Yeah, like the time we brainstormed Die Hard, we can't. By the time we're done with that one, we had an awesome attraction.
I haven't seen that in forever. Now I want to watch it again.
It's been a long time. But yeah, like Johnny said, she does a ton of movies, and she's in 2 Disney movies, at least 2. Right? She's in Into the Woods, and she's in Mary Poppins Returns with Emily Blunt again.
There you go.
And maybe even more of them that I'm not thinking of right now, but at least those 2.
Is she going to be in the live action remake with oh my God, I can't think of it, for Cruella?
I don't know.
God, what's her name?
Emma Stone.
Thank you.
Not according to IMDb.
No.
Are you checking
She's in something new coming up. Yeah, he's probably checking it now.
I'm checking it.
It's almost tough to believe that she did her first project with Disney with Into the Woods. Like, she didn't cross paths with them at some point before that, but who knows? Like, she didn't voice a character or something. I don't know. Been around for quite some time.
It's taken a long time to go through her thing.
Yeah, she's been going for a while.
Yeah, it does not look like it.
Next week we are going to have a different show. It's just Johnny and I. We're going to have guests on our show next week, so we will not be covering.
I'll be dying with my shot anyway. So
there you go. Johnny and I will maybe do an attraction before they come on. Maybe. Let's think. Yeah, we can do an attraction. Let's do the 3 Caballeros. And then Justin Timberlake is going to be our celebrity next week. Okay. And then we will be back the following week with, let me just make sure I'm getting this right. Yeah, so the following week we'll be back to a regular show, it appears. And then I have a special guest, Steve Barth from the Mickey Shorts and More podcast coming on. And I'm not sure when I'm going to air that episode after I record it, but I will let everyone know when I figured it's out. And after, I think stay tuned to the website and Twitter and all that good stuff. But I think we are going to change up the format after next week. I think we're going to end the attraction series. I think we've gone far enough for now, and we're going to start coming up with some new ideas for some shows. So stay tuned for that. And of course, we still have some more eliminating to do, so we'll continue on that path. And I still think we'll continue with celebrities as well. But the first segment, I think we're going to switch it up a bit. So we'll keep you posted on that. Okay, so we're out of here. Like, share, and subscribe as usual. QuickDizTakes.com, QuickDizTakes Facebook, QuickDizScook on Instagram, QuickDizTakesTim on Instagram, QuickDizTakes on Twitter as well. And yeah, so we'll see you next week. Once again, different format. We have Jeremy and Phil from Cast Conversations on next week, and they're going to talk about their time as Disney cast members in the college program. So should be a pretty interesting episode. If you're curious about the inner workings of Disney or how the college program works or any of that stuff, I'm sure they're going to have a lot of good insight on that. Okay, so we're out of here. Have a good week, and we will see you next week.